Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Time to take that walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer comes from Against the Grain Brewing Smokehouse. These guys are in Kentucky. This is their 35K, and I'm pretty sure it's a 2019 edition. On the bottom it says 0108 of 2019, so this is a fairly old beer, guys. This is middle of October of 2019, so this is a 7%. It is what it is. This was sent to me by Charlie. It's a 7% stout, so it shouldn't go bad anytime soon. This wouldn't be one that I'd want to sell her for 15 or 20 years. But he sent it to me. I think it's the first time he had sent me any beers. So, but not a big beer. It's 7%. Not sure it would be something that I would buy. I like my stouts a little bigger than 7%, but it should be still be tasty, I would hope. I have had beers from this brewery before, Against the Grain, but I'm not sure what we're going to get on this beer. Big 16-ounce can. We're going to jump over to Untappd, which I have the 2019 edition, which is what this one is. They have it at 7%, no commercial description or no IBUs. So we got the ABV and the canned on date on it. So let's get it into the glass. Final beer of the evening for me, and let's see what it brings to the table. Very dark coming out of the can. It is not a bourbon barrel or barrel aged beer. So very colorful artwork on the can. And I can't tell whether it's a shrunk wrap label on it or it's a printed up can, guys. About a finger of head on the pour. Looks pretty tasty, looks pretty good. Very dark beer. Nice khaki colored head. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt. Maybe a hint of black molasses. Does have a nice sweetness to it. Maybe a little bit of chocolate in there, a bit of sweet chocolate or so. Got a very nice aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Charlie. Decent beer. Not outstanding, not world class. A good transitional stout, if you will, at 7%. No bourbon notes or anything like that. It's not claiming to have bourbon notes or anything. I don't know if it had been any tastier fresh than it is now, but it's been in the can for 9 or 10 months. A decent transitional beer, very tasty. Alcohol is well hidden. On the taste, guys, I'm getting rich roasted malt, maybe a slight hint of some caramel or toffee, a little bit of black molasses, slight hint of maybe some kind of chocolate notes in there. Decent beer. Not outstanding, not world class. I would say this is a great transitional beer. Get you into not a super low ABV, being a 7%er, but something that's not going to be a barrel aged, bourbon barrel aged, or something that's going to be 9, 10 or bigger percent beer, where it's going to blow your palate out of your mouth if you're not used to drinking that magnitude of a beer. Decent beer. Decent beer. Very colorful artwork, which grabs your attention when you see something like that sitting on the shelf, but they do have the date on it, and they do have the ABV, which goes a long way in my book. If I had not had this beer before and I seen it sitting on the shelf, it is a 7%er, so it's in my go-to range. I would probably pick this up and give it a try. So let's do the back end pour. I don't think it's going to change any while I sip on it, let it come up to room temperature, but seems to be a tasty beer. And you know what you're getting because it's got 7% written on it, and it's got the date on it. You know how old it is. Not sure it'd be something that I would pick up after I've had the first one, because it's not what I'm looking for in a stout. I like my stouts a little heavier than this, and I especially like my stouts and porters, or darker beers and barley wines that have some barrel aging going on them. But still, a good transitional beer. That's where I would put this right now. But I'm going to reserve any other comments or say anything else till I sip on it for a while, let it come up to room temperature. But it is a very well made beer. And it is a low ABV beer, not super low, but it is a 7% stout. So Charlie, thanks again for sending it to me. We're going to sip on it, and we'll come back and give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping for a while. Very nice slicing up on the glass. To me guys, this is a good transitional beer to get you over into a darker beer, a stout, low ABV, very well made, but not something that I would probably regularly pick up. I like my stouts a little bit bigger than this, and 7%, and I like the bourbon barrel versions of them too on top of that. So a good one to try. I'm glad I got to try it. So thanks again to Charlie for sending it to me. It is a tasty, well-made beer and a good transitional beer, but not something, I'm glad I got to have it, and I would probably have picked it up once to try it, but not something that I would probably go pick up again. It is tasty though, guys. A good transitional stout. Get you into a darker beer that doesn't have a lot of ABV or bourbon notes or anything like that. If you wanted just to jump into that style and give something with a darker appearance and taste, good beer. It's a good beer. Not outstanding, not world class, good beer. Final chug. Not getting any kind of dark fruit, not big, strong chocolate notes, roasted malt, caramel toffee, and a little bit of black molasses. Well-made beer. And it's got a can on date on it, and it's got the ABV on it. So that goes a long way in my book. So, but still, not outstanding. I don't even think it's an A beer, guys. You may disagree with that. Oh my God, that's the best thing I ever tasted. I'm not going to argue with that, guys. But for me, and where my palate is, and what I'm drinking and smelling and tasting, it's a B beer. That's where I'm going to put it. 85, right down the middle of the A range. Beer Advocate has it at 89. They're giving it a little bit better grade than me. And over to Untapped, they are giving it 3.84. That's kicking the door down to be a B+. But 3.84 is their B beer before it gets to the B+, and that's where I think it is, guys. 10 years ago I might have given it a better grade, but with the big beers that I've reviewed and tasted over the years, it's a little lackluster for me, and you might like it. And I tell you this all the time: don't base it on what you're going to buy, what you're going to try, what you're going to drink, what you're going to like or dislike. Pick one up, give it a try. You may like it. You may think it's the best thing you've ever tasted. I say this over and over and over again. Don't base what you're going to buy or what you're going to drink on what anybody tells you. Try it for yourself. Depending on where your palate is, you may absolutely think this is the best thing you've ever tasted. So don't base it on what this old man's going to tell you. Try it for yourself. Pick it up, buy one of them, and give it a try. And base your judgment on what you're tasting, what you're smelling, and not what I'm telling you. Because I've had a whole lot of bourbon barrel aged beers, which I like a whole lot. And this one seems to be a very, very good transitional beer to get you over into this category of beer in the stout, a low ABV stout. Not super low, but 7%, decent. So if you've had the 2019 edition of the 35K, which is what this is called, very impressive artwork on the can. It'll grab your attention. It's a tasty beer, guys. So if you've had the 2019 edition from Against the Grain Brewery, the 35K, let me know what you think. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.